Chapter 6 of Pee-wee Harris on the Trail. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Kathryn Phipps. Pee-wee Harris on the Trail by Percy Keese Fitzhugh. A Message in the Dark. Pee-wee seldom had any doubts about anything. What he knew, and what is still better, he knew that he knew it. No one ever had to remind Pee-wee that he knew a thing. He not only knew it and knew that he knew it, but he knew that everybody that he knew that he knew it. As he said himself, he was absolutely positive. Pee-wee knew all about scouting. Oh, everything. He knew how and where tents should be put up and where spring water was to be found. He did not know all about the different kinds of birds, but he knew all about the different kinds of eats, and there are more kinds of eats than there are kinds of birds. How the Bridgeboro troop would be able to get along without their little mascot was a question, for he was their fixer. That was his middle name, Fixer. And of all of the things of which Pee-wee was absolutely positive, the thing of which he was the most positive was that two thieves connected with the crime wave were riding away in Mr. Bartlett's big hunk-a-junk touring model and carrying him, a little scout model, along with them. What should he do? Being a scout, he took counsel of his wits and decided to write on a page of his hike book a sentence saying that he was being carried away by thieves, giving his name and address, and cast this overboard as a shipwrecked sailor puts a message in a bottle. Then someone would find the message and come to rescue him. But with what should he weight his fluttering message so that it would fall in the road? Pee-wee was a scout of substance and had amassed a vast fortune in the way of small possessions. He owned the cap of a fountain pen, a knob from a brass bedstead, 2 paper clips, a horse's tooth, a broken magnifying glass, a device for making noises in the classroom, a clock key, a glass tube, a piece of chalk for making scout signs, and other treasures. But these were in the pockets of his scout uniform, and could be of no service to him in his predicament. The only trinket which he had was the fragment of a sandwich. Having reduced this, by a generous bite, to 1/2 its size, he wrote his note as well as he could without moving too much. One deadly weapon he had with him, and that was a safety pin. With this he now pierced the piece of sandwich to the heart, linking it forever with that note written tremblingly in a moment of forlorn hope and utter darkness, under the kindly concealment of the buffalo robe. And here is the note. I am being kidnapped by thieves who are stealing Mr. Bartlett's car. I don't know where. If anybody finds this, please take it to my house. Bridgeboro. Walter Harris, Scout. Having cast this last message out upon the road, he withdrew his arm cautiously back under the robe and lay as nearly motionless as possible, prepared for the worst. If he should never be heard of again, it would seem both touching and appropriate that this memento of him should be a morsel of food which he loved, fastened with a safety pin which was the weapon that he always carried. End of chapter 6.